Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Just Us Review, where we like to take our favorite comic book-based TV shows and kind of break them down and explore them through our lens, and give you guys their input of how we break it down. So we're going to sprint to the line first, and we're going to talk about The Flash. In The Flash this season, this episode, of course, we're limping towards crisis, so that means what happens now doesn't really matter. I was kicking off the top. Barry's talking with Joe about how he's going to pass the Flash mantle. On the B side, we have with the new Wales talking to the young lady who works for Iris as a reporter about helping her by using her powers. And on the C side, we're talking with DA Thicky Thick. What's her name, Cecile?
Yes.
She's helping up the new Meta who awakened after the whole black hole incidents. Now we're going to break this down, starting from the top. All right. Barry is trying to figure out how he's going to pass on the mantle. What do you think about that?
Okay, I guess Elongated Man is the only one to do it, I guess. Because Killer Frost is a baby. And Cisco is powerless and also kind of a baby. And yeah, okay. So Elongated Man is it. Wow. But why did we have to have this pomp and circumstance for this?
Because bullshit? They needed 15 minutes to fill the episode. Speaking of which, the main arc of the episode is that Dibney is going undercover to find out what's going on with old girl.
Yeah, Sue Dearborn.
Sue Dearborn. And Barry's going to come along for the ride because, you know, he needs to tag along because his time as the Flash is almost up and he wants to spend time with Dibney. Now, along this whole investigation, it turns to this James Bond ripoff, even to the point where they admitted it. Yeah. So, what do we feel about this segment?
So, I'm going to say this. This could have been decent if not for the fact that Barry interfered.
Exactly. Okay.
My thing is, if you're gonna, so if the purpose was passing on the torch to Elongated Man, why would you interfere in the one thing he knows the best over you? Like, that investigation was going well, but you opened your mouth and you put on your costume when he told you not to do that. You should have just did the shit that he told you to do.
So going into this whole James Bond-esque thing, Dibney is able to infiltrate this underworld connection, and he brings Barry along for the ride. All he says is, Barry, follow my lead, act like a fucking grown-up. And because Barry is a child, he fails. He goes up, he's like, okay, I have this persona. And first of all, from the looks of it, Dibney doesn't need Barry at all for this superhero game. As a matter of fact, I gotta give shouts out to Dibney. He was the actual grown-up in the situation.
Yeah, like I hope he stays on that road because up until now, he was literally a waste of time. But yeah, he asserted himself well in the field, and in my opinion, he showed I don't need no fucking ceremony to tell me that I'm so we just announced who is the defender. Fuck that. No.
Oh, we'll get to that part later. But all through this ride where Dibney's trying to find out what's going on and everything. And Barry is acting like, when I say a child, that's an understatement. I know we're not supposed to use the word beta male, but he smelled like it and he oozed it. So Dibney, for one example, Dibney would go to a woman and he'd be like, yeah, I'm the heir to this company and, I'm a CEO of transport. He's like, yeah, there's my partner over there. And Barry with his old goofy ass, I'm his business partner too, and we make plenty of money.
We let Barry make his own decisions.
and I'm sitting here like, it's not hard to be a grown-up.
Yeah, like that just felt so forced and dumb to me. It's like, really, you know what y'all are here to do. You know what the stakes are, and you are acting like that now. And this wasn't drunk. This wasn't mind control. It wasn't the crisis. He was just generally a dumbass.
It was like stuff that he just didn't use common sense. He was tripping over himself. He couldn't remember the names of places that Dibney told him they were from. I was like, this is bare minimum shit. So let's get on. And then so while they realize that this criminal organization has their main plan is to detonate a bomb over Central City as a test and then sell the weapon to the highest bidder. Now, all this is going smooth until Barry ignores orders, changes to his Flash getup, and then the sensors is able to detect him using his powers, which thus gets him and Dibney caught because this motherfucker don't know how to listen to directions. Mm-hmm. Even before all that, when they're in there, and then it was like, look, these are the major heads of criminal organizations in here. And Barry's like, then I should suit up and stop all of them. And Deputy was like, for what?
No.
Deputy was like, what are you going to charge them with?
Exactly. They haven't done anything yet.
But he's like, but I can go get my custom and stop this right now. What are you stopping? We don't know what the fuck is going on, Barry.
I think it's funny, and I know we're gonna get to it to the end, but I think it's funny that they don't highlight it or say anything about it or address it. But Barry is supposed to be handing over protection of the city to Ralph. And throughout the entire episode, he undermines Ralph, which means you don't trust him. But they don't address that. But you know what they do address? At the end of the episode, where they literally jack off Barry and say,
Yeah.
So, hold on.
What does it let him have?
Wait a second. So, we also, after they eventually stopped the bomb from going off, which... let me talk about that one for 2 seconds. So Dibney again saves them, rescues them. They escape from the situation they was in after they were caught. We also meet Ultraviolet, who helps catches them. And when they do this, first of all, they saving all their animation budget for Crisis because this missile looked like it was hand drawn. And then so a missile launches. It's about to hit Central City in 1 minute, right? They stop it at the 2-second mark. This is why this is bullshit, writers. So when they destroyed them, they activated the self-destruct sequence, and the housing for the missile, the little station, blew up. What happened to the actual fucking missile that launched?
Yeah, good question. And the satellite blew up in space. This wasn't in the news. Like, first of all, you got that thing the fuck up there, and no one said anything.
No.
This wasn't in the news. This didn't set off any alarms in the nation or the world, for that matter.
No. How about this part? If the missile was exploded 2 seconds over the city,
that means the city still got blown up.
Thank you.
You didn't stop anything.
You didn't stop shit. They launched the missile. It took a minute before it was going to hit Central City. They stopped it in 0.2 seconds. That means it still blew up in the fucking city. And we just gonna let that go?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Let's go along to this fucking ceremony.
So we get to the ceremony, and this is where the Flash is handing off the mantle to the elongated man. And this has to be the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Like, I went to sillyshit.com to find this clip. So we get there, and he hands off the mantle. First of all, you're in the middle of a police station. Vigilantism is a crime. And you're literally talking about how you have a new vigilante that is going to vigilante over the city.
And the police are cool with that.
Let me hold your hand for a second if you don't understand what that means.
He wasn't deputized.
No.
He wasn't sworn in.
No. Let me hold
This was all pomp and bullshit.
Wait a second. Let me hold your hand as I explain why this is dumb. That's like smoking crack in a police station and then telling the police that you plan to smoke more crack in the station and they do nothing. The Flash is by definition a criminal because vigilantism is a crime. He got on a podium, introduced elongated man, and says he will be the new vigilante. And all this happened in a police station.
Because I have the authority to make him the new protector. Yes. I, the Flash, some asshole who came out of nowhere 4 or 5 years ago.
In a onesie.
I have this authority now to say this is the next guy that gets to, rule over you with his stretchy ability.
When the world even knows that a Supergirl exists.
Exactly. He is your new god now.
So after this ceremony, this would have been a perfect stop, even though it didn't make sense, because now Elongated Man has the torch. But no, this is the CW. Of course they gotta drop to their knees and suck Barry's dick.
The suck and jive that joke. Fucking embarrassing.
So much fucking respect.
Like, I thought this motherfucker was gonna bust out and cry like he did 3 episodes ago. Like, bro, I miss you, Barry.
So Joe decides in the middle of the ceremony to give the highest award to Barry Allen as a CSI for his role as a CSI. Now this is what we call bullshit. One, right? Are we forgetting the fact that Barry missed like a good 6 months on the job?
This motherfucker skips work a lot.
Not to mention, he's basically a glorified janitor for the police.
Number three, he's late all the time.
And on top of that, he can't be the only. No, he's not. Or at least at some points, he has never been the only CSI. So if I'm also CSI, if I'm a forensic scientist or whatever, and I work for Central City, and I'm sitting there while we celebrate, you know, the new guy that's gonna lord over us with his stress power, and then all of a sudden, they do a turnaround and they give the highest award to another forensic scientist who I know I come to work every day, I do my job, and you know, I be detecting shit too, and they give him the highest award, so oh fuck me, right? Like I don't be out there, you know, scraping people's guts off the street
and
to see
clearly
what
it
killed
was
them.
nevetism because his daddy gave it to him.
Exactly,
Hold on. Let me
I would be hot key hot, like we really doing this.
Hold on. Let me give you the biggest fuck you in the room right quick. The police officers who are watching this, the ones who are regular people fighting meta-humans every day, putting their life on the line for this city. First of all, in real life, fuck the police. But in this situation, they got royalty to see a CSI who barely does his job, and I'm a regular person who fights meta-humans,
Exactly.
and he gets the medal of
They
honor.
literally give me a gat and a taser and a stick and tell me to go out there and do the best I can. You come in after the fact, scrape motherfuckers' guts off the street, and then you don't ever see real danger. Fuck you.
You know what? I'm sick of talking about this show, man. Let's go with something a little less pathetic. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and it's time to take aim at this week's episode of The Arrow. Now, to kick us off the top, Oliver and company are trying to go back to Russia so they can pick up whatever weapon that they need to help stop the Monitor. And, you know, again, we're limping on the crisis. So he goes to retrieve what he needs from Russia, and some things go awry. So, go ahead.
Hold on, before we start. So last week, when at the end of the episode, they said that they were going to have to go to Russia, Oliver, it's almost like he looked at the camera and he rolled his eyes so hard because he was like, goddamn Anatoly. Because he knew going to Russia meant fucking with Anatoly. And I rolled my eyes because I said, goddamn Anatoly. Because I knew going to Russia meant fucking with Anatoly.
So while in Russia, of course, he decides to take his children and the other child.
Stop right there.
Lord Black Canary, and then hijinks ensue. So go ahead.
So, I'm going to say this, and this is going to be a loaded statement, so get ready. I can say up to a specific point, the episode was going, it was stable. Nothing really... Nothing. You're looking at me like you know what's coming. Nothing egregious or anything. It was standard. There was a plan. We are going to enact it. Orders were passed out, and they were to be followed.
And then the Fire Nation showed
The moment this bitch walked into the fucking scene at the Fight Club,
by bitch he means Mia Queen.
it fell apart.
Okay, can I eat this?
Yes, please do.
So their plan is to go to the Bravo and get this piece that they need. And the dude's like, I'll go into the, and Oliver's like, okay, cool. I don't want my kids to know about my past, so y'all just stay here. I'm gonna go get this piece. I'm just gonna go to the store, pick up this piece. Now I'm coming right back. All you have to do is wait here, and that's what Oliver.
Stay here.
Oliver literally goes down there and handles, and I get it, I understand Oliver, because parents don't want their kids to know about what they did in the past. If your mama was a hoe in the past, or if your daddy was a hoe in the past, he don't want you to know that he used to hoe. So he goes down there, everything is going according to plan. And Mia shows up, and then Oliver's like, okay, if she sees her dad in this vicious mode, take this guy down. And then he goes into the office, and Oliver goes out, he's like, yo, I told you guys to stay home. Get out of here, I don't need you. So Oliver goes to the office to get the thing that he won from the cage fight. And while in there, another Bravo member shows up with a hostage. Guess who the hostage is? Who's the hostage? Who is the hostage?
Was it Anatoly?
Oh no, it wasn't Anatoly.
Was it Laurel?
No, it wasn't Laurel.
You get.
Was it his infant daughter?
It was his infant daughter. He has one of the members have a gun to the back of Mia's head.
You know what was fucked up? Like literally, they was here. He was handing them the shit. He was like, "Thank you." And she walked in. I'm like, "We just need this shit. We're done. Let me go." Like he's begging this dude. Like all we did was come for this. He almost done it.
And you don't understand. Like I believe the episode would have literally went over.
Yeah.
So he's about to hand it off. Two guys come in, and one of them has a gun to the back of Mia's head. And then they're like, all right, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and take you down because now I have your daughter. Now we've all seen Oliver in a situation with a gun on him. Had Mia not been there, he could have easily gotten out of the situation. But there's literally a gun to the back of his daughter's head. They knock Oliver out and then they kidnap him and Mia. When they wake up in the chair, shut the fuck up. When they wake up in the chair, he wakes up and Mia is sitting next to him. And he tells Mia, hold on, I wanted to hear this. I wanted to hear this. He tells Mia, he's like, Mia, I told you to stay back there. I didn't need your help. And Mia, without missing a beat, says, shut the fuck up. She says, obviously, your plan didn't work because we got caught. Mother of fuck!
Can I go?
Go ahead.
All right, hi. So I know it's been a while since you guys seen me.
Yeah, no. Glad for you have you back.
This is actually my second episode of watching Arrow this season. If Mia is this dumb, I would have pushed her off a building in one of my missions. Like, from what you guys explained to me before, she'll create a plan, they'll follow her plan, and shit goes haywire. And she'll be like, why didn't the plan work?
But wait.
Bitch. I would have followed your plan on this mission, pushed you off the building, and be like, all right, now we're doing the real plan.
So hold on. So Mia is like, well, your plan didn't go right because we got captured, bitch. The only reason y'all got captured is because you didn't stay your ass.
And you know what the galling part, the fucked up part was? William, Anatoly, and Laura was there. And they walked away clean. Why did they pick them up? They was back at the bar like, where's Mia?
You tell you why they didn't get picked up? Because they followed directions and did what a grown person told them to and take their ass back
When
home.
Laurel is the only down-ass ride or die bitch in the scene, something is wrong.
So hold on. Let's bring the room down.
Jesus!
Hold on. So
His character!
wait. Okay, bro, let's break it down. So at this point, Oliver wakes up, and then the Bravo comes in the room and threatens to shoot Mia. And Mia's like, don't tell him anything, Dad. And I'm like, what the fuck?
This was my show.
So, of course, anybody with kids, if somebody is threatening your children, I don't care if what kind of powers you got, you're not going to risk it because they may potentially kill your kid. So they take Mia out the chair and it's like, yo, Mia, I'm going to put you through the test I put your dad through. Go try to ring the bell. She fails, of course.
Did you know that she would take 3 seconds to look at the clock?
Yo, she take 3 seconds to look at the clock and then 6 seconds to look at the bell. So So she fails the test, but they were just testing them, and then they let them go. Okay, cool. So let's back. I want everybody to breathe because I want to talk about the B plot right now. The B plot is Diggle's going to go pick up Roy. Now let me tell you about this shit. First of all, Roy, who is a murderer, we haven't forgotten this. He fucking murdered 2 security guards, 2 innocent men, and Diggle went to go get him. And he asked a simple question. He was like, why didn't you get Wild Dog? Why didn't you go get Dinah? He was like, I came to get you. And I was like, you went to go get the psychotic motherfucker for a plutonium? Diggle. I was like, okay, cool. So he goes back and everything.
Where was Connor?
I don't know. Yeah, he went to go get a Popeye sandwich.
Hi, so I'm back. So, again, this is my second episode. I was told that 3 people went back in time. One of them was a black kid named Connor. Where was he?
He was getting a Popeye chicken sandwich. He heard the news. He wanted to try one. So we keep on this mission, right? And Diggle's like, yeah, I'm trying to get you so I can train you to get over your bloodlust. And this is why I call bullshit on this scene. You want to tell you who's had the bloodlust? Sarah's had it, and Thea's had it. Both of them have gotten over it. You're telling me this motherfucker who was with Thea didn't learn how to get rid of the bloodlust, but we still trying to figure it out. Okay, cool. So we pull it back. So the whole plan of this is to recruit Roy for Final Crisis. Now we get back.
Sure, it worked.
We get out until he almost beats a man to death, mind you, which would have been better than the state they left him. I'm pretty sure this dude gonna be shitting out of a bag for the rest of the he violates this one dude to the max. So that happens. Roy's officially part of the team. Going back to the A plot. So now they have to figure out how to get the product that they need away from the bad guys that stole it from them. All right, and Oliver's like, you're my daughter, and William, you're my son, kind of, and I'm trying to look out for you guys. I'm still your fucking dad.
I forgot about the shit where he was like, fucking mission's over, y'all go home.
Oh yeah, no, I'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
Because he said that, he's like, look, y'all need to go home. I'm shutting down the studios. We can handle this ourselves. And then Mia throws a bitch fit again because it's Mia. And she was like, when you left me and him and you left me as a baby and I wasn't allowed to see anybody and I was raised by myself and I was like, look, bitch, I left you to save your life. And then he looked at both William and her, like, I don't give a fuck at this point. Y'all can blame me as much as y'all want, but I'm trying to save you, and that's my job as your dad.
You know what's fucked up? The show wouldn't even let him argue the facts. Like, the facts were right there, and it's like, it's just weird. Doing that stupid-ass Civil War storyline like 2 seasons back, Oliver could win all the goddamn arguments. Now we here, and Mia making sense?
That's the problem. She wasn't making sense at all, because you're blaming him for something that was out of his control. In your time period, he went missing because he decided to lay his line on the lifeline to save your entire fucking world.
Like literally, you would not be here to complain.
The world would not be here to complain because people would not exist anymore.
The entire universe.
Exactly. So let's hop back to the main story. So now they got to go back to the brothel to pick up this product that they need.
They're gonna force this cage fight.
So
we saw her in episode whatever. They're gonna show you that she can fight the cage.
So their plan is for them to disguise themselves and go into the cage match and fight with whoever the brothel wants them to fight. Now they show up to this cage match in hoods. Green hoods. What is Oliver's name in Russian?
This is their disguise.
Oliver's name in Russia is the Hood. And it's not like something that's completely concealed in his face. It's like my fucking hat. So anybody with any type of vision can look him straight in the face and be like, "Hey, there's that white man we know."
Matter of fact, I didn't even get through the front door.
Exactly. So hold on. This and they get into the cage. They fight. And then they end up getting what that Black Canary ends up going in there, stealing what she needs, and they get out. This is why this scene was so unnecessary. It was a fucking warehouse. Everybody's attention was on the fights that were already happening. Why didn't they just sneak in through the top, break into his room, and steal what they needed?
As a matter of fact, all they needed was Laura.
Who would have thought we'd ever see the day where
Laura was useful.
Laurel, all they needed was Laurel.
Because if that cage fight wasn't happening, what would have changed about the plan?
No. What would have changed about? You said if Oliver and Mia didn't go to the
exactly. What would
literally
changed?
nothing would have changed.
She still would have walked into the office, stole the one thing she needed, and walked the fuck out. Mm-hmm. This thing.
Anatoly would have capped the dude in the back, which, by the way, like
MVP of the episode.
Yeah,
that's what he do.
Because last week when they announced Anatoly, I was like, Jesus Christ, I can't stand this motherfucker. But I guess when you add a little Mia to your coffee, everything
Anatoly starts making sense. Laurel starts being useful.
Exactly.
I mean, Laura wasn't 100%, right on. She just turned into that, fuck that. Anyway, we get to the end of the episode, and then they confront Lila, who everybody now knows working for the Monitor. And my favorite image from that scene is Oliver, Diggle, and Laurel showing up to confront Lila, and then Diggle's like, say it ain't true. And they all get darted. And the look Diggle had in his eye as he was going down was like, this white woman. But all in all, this was a shit episode from every definition. Like, you know what? And I feel for this actress because when she picks up this role and reads this shit, she gotta go again.
But you know what? I know what they're trying to do with this with this character, and it's like they want her to be that character, the Wolverine, the Raphael, that hot-headed loose cannon, but I can still beat ass. But the problem is
she's lunchpad.
Exactly. Like, the reason those characters work is because the writing makes them work. When the writing is good, Wolverine is the most layered character there is. When the writing is good, you feel for Raphael even when he's fucking up. He's my favorite Ninja Turtle.
Hold on, we don't even gotta pull it that far. Thea. When the writing worked for Thea, she was a badass.
And
she didn't have to tell everybody.
She running the fucking League of Assassins.
Which don't make sense, but okay. Alright, people, thank you guys for joining us for this episode. Where, we gotta go to something different. Alright, welcome back, people. It's time to get charged up on this episode of Black Lightning. So, a lot has transpired. Tavon has died and the community is reeling back from that. Then also Jefferson's ass whooping. So, the resistance movement is on the rise. The ASA better watch their back because the community is starting to come together. Now, Lynn, there's a lot of drama going on between Lynn, Jefferson, and the rest of the family. Now, kicking off the episode with the funeral and everything, how do we feel about this episode going into it?
Okay.
Well, first, I like to say, I like that comic book opening, the openings that you despise. Because the one in front of him walking in front of the stained glass and all that stuff, it looked dope animated. It looked dope, as a picture.
And I will say, at the funeral, I saw one of the best shots that I've seen this season.
That was the same shot.
No. I'm talking about the one where it's Jefferson just walking down the corridor.
Yeah, that's the shot. They turned it into a comic book.
Oh man, it was amazing. That shot. But yeah, how'd you guys feel about the passing, the funeral, and Lynn's comments and everything like that?
I thought the funeral and stuff was handled very well. I'm not gonna lie. I think the only thing that fell off to me was that Jennifer wasn't there.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought that was weird.
Yeah, that was very weird.
But I liked the way it was handled. I even liked how what's her name, Jamila, came up in there and was in the face like Fox 5 News. I need the scoops and shit. You know,
Where's the girl?
Like, even though it was completely out of place, even though it was very rude, even though her ex-girlfriend was like sitting right there, you're gonna just put the camera.
No. One night stand.
Don't do labels.
Exactly.
Like, don't do labels.
And the dude even gave her this look like, I don't want to fuck you anymore.
So we keep going on. Jefferson is hatted up and he leaves from the funeral. Cut to Lynn is now talking to him. She's upset that he's gone out as Black Lightning and tore some things up in the city. Even left a lightning bolt sigil and everything. Meanwhile,
man, I wish I would have seen that.
Yeah, that would have been fucking awesome. But that we gotta speak on this thing.
Can I go first?
Sure.
Okay, so that scene, like, I know there are feelings regarding that scene, and those feelings are valid, but to me, those feelings are depleted because we all know back 2 episodes ago, Odell drugged her wine. So anything she says doesn't hold weight because it's not her.
I gotta push back on that.
Yeah.
Let me push back on this. I can't blame Green Light for this one because Green Light only does so much. It's like people who drink beers and now their racism come out. No, they were racist before. So this whole giving Lynn a passing, I don't think it completely overlaps her entire personality. Like, I believe this is who Lynn is the entire time.
So here's the thing. This isn't me giving her a pass.
Okay.
This is me saying that they ruined what could have been a good character development for this character by basically saying that everything she does prior to that reveal doesn't count because she was fucking under the influence. Like,
we're gonna agree to disagree on Lynn, but to carry down the story, she's upset with Jefferson. And after this, we find on the side that Anissa is hurt worse than we initially thought, and that this neurotoxin that's going through her that's killing her. And if she didn't have her healing factor, well, she doesn't anymore. She would have been dead a long time ago. And by the grace of Gamby, he's able to actually, diagnose what's going on with her. Now, all this is going on. How do we feel about the situation that Anissa's in?
So,
I'm just say real quick, I didn't like the edit that they did. They opened with her doing her goodbyes on camera, and then I know they jumped to a later episode, so they didn't have to show it again. But that was edited kind of weird, and
I think what made it weird for me is we never get back around to that point, or at least it doesn't look like it to me that we never get back around to that beginning point in the episode. Like, she just like convulses and is fucked up.
Yeah, it's so nebulous at what time it happened.
Especially considering the shit that she does before and after that moment is conflicted with her message.
Because in the message she's leaving, she's thanking her parents for the way she turned out, even if they disagree sometimes. But that was her upbringing.
But yeah, her potentially last meeting with Jefferson,
Was
she's such an asshole to him.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you wrote this letter as your goodbye, why would you? This might be your only time you see your dad and you do this confrontation. Like, that's a little backwards.
Yeah.
But one thing.
So, I gotta say though, I can excuse that away. And the reason why I excuse that away is because she didn't want him to know what was really going on. So she was forcefully pushing him out of the house so he wouldn't know that she was still fucked up from that point.
And okay, cool. But then this is one thing I can't excuse. So Grace comes in and finds her later because she passes out from the poison. And Grace is like, "Yo, I found you. You were unconscious. What's going on? Like, I can sense that something's wrong with you." And then, she's like, Anissa's like, "Nah, baby, everything's cool. I just a little wore out from that fight. Oh, dude beat my ass. I'm just trying to recover from it." And she's like, Grace is like, just tell me if something's wrong. I'm here for you. Like, and then she continues to lie to Grace, who knows something is wrong. Now, I kind of like and I don't like this move. I like it because, one, this is she's trying to protect Grace, and I understand that. But mind you, everything she's gone through with Grace, I would think Grace would be one of the people who know like she will want to know when there's something wrong with
So
her.
I want to say something in regard to that because I want to kind of capitalize on what you were saying. Also, it undercuts last week's episode ending, when basically the whole point was the city is rising up and we need to pool our resources together. This isn't helping the resistance when you don't even get help from the people closest to you so that you can get back in the fight. On top of that, you're furthering the divide within the family because now you're lying to Grace and you're making Gamby lie to Jefferson, who he has more loyalty to than you.
Right. And I would just say, it felt like she was trying to martyr herself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that.
But one thing,
not saying she wasn't trying to fight through the poison and whatnot. She put her trust in Gamby, but her last messages almost seemed like she was trying to just be a martyr.
But this goes back to what Jefferson dislikes about what she was doing. Like, she want to showboat and be, this public figure and shit like that. And that's like...
might not be the way to go.
But even though this was a bad situation, one thing I do love about this style of writing is that, like, the value of the relationship itself between her and Grace, and it just shows the relationship between two people, because I know this is characterized as a masculine quality that you don't tell people that you hurt, but that's just somebody who's trying to portray that they're strong. So because I can see, like, in most cases, from the male perspective, I don't want to show weakness. I don't want to show that I'm hurt, because if I do, that shows a chink in the armor. And that's just something that Anissa was doing, which I can commend her for, even though she was lying to protect her people around her. Because had that been anybody in the male situation and they did that, then they would have been like, oh, he's trying to protect her and be safe.
Actually, it's been done already. She's just paralleling Jefferson.
Exactly.
This whole relationship, her and Grace is Jefferson and Lynn.
And I never even thought about it that way.
Now, I will say this, though. I think they're doing a disservice to Grace with the writing, because lately all she's been is the quote-unquote damsel.
Yeah.
And it's like, unlike Lynn, you have powers. You need to, like, we get it. You're back with your one true love or whatever, and y'all trying to make things right, and you trying to get back on the good foot or whatever. But like that period should be fucking over.
Well, also there's a ton of stuff that comes with Grace's history too, especially with her being sold into slavery and stuff like that. But we're gonna move the ball down a little bit further, because I want to talk about the situation between my boy, what's his name, albino brother, Tobias Wells and Lynn. Yeah. Now, how do we feel about that and Lynn's characterization?
Oh, you mean the Tobias and Lynn relationship that's going on that she did not tell Jefferson so that he can approve of it?
Let me give the breakdown real quick. So now Tobias is his young self again. The medicine, the cure works and everything, and now he pretty much blackmails Lynn to go give him the information about all the meds in the facility. So go ahead.
I don't know how you blackmail someone when you in jail, but like, first of all, Lynn don't know how the game is played, because she's been up here trying to photocopy shit and like she looking real unfamiliar, like I may get caught.
And this one, I'm sorry, this is a big hit to Lynn's character for me, because for her to stand on that soapbox and talk all as much trash as she does, and then to give in.
She hiding the green light that she taking. She hiding the fact that she working with Tobias, and she knows that Tobias is a trigger for Jefferson.
And all of that is true, but she is also under the influence, and her actions cannot be justified that way.
I can't let that move off, because my thing is this. And if you have as much faith in the ASA as you claim to be, then you would have told him, Tobias, to shut up or go fuck yourself. I'm not going to help you. But no, she understands that he may eventually get out one day, and now she's trying to prepare for that. And my thing, and my whole thing with Lynn is that she's been lying to herself this entire time, saying that the ASA is for the greater good. And even he asked her simple questions like, he was like, you are a smart woman. You cannot sit here and tell me you do not know what he's really doing. And for Lynn to just sit there and just to be a good soldier.
You're just trying to get in my head. I was like, really? These are valid points he's making.
So,
Yeah, all of that
but-
is true, but again, under the influence.
no.
She is taking that green light of her own volition now.
Yeah.
At this point,
You're saying this facetiously, right?
Huh?
no, he means this.
Oh.
We've had arguments.
I'm half and half on it, but my thing is like I'm not trying to defend her actions or anything
You're saying
like
this
that.
is what they want the character to portray.
Exactly, and had the writing been better, and we had left that scene out when Odell practically date raped her, all of this shit would speak more volumes. But the thing is, the writing would not. They just couldn't leave the shit alone.
I can't give her a pass, but we're gonna move.
This isn't about giving her a pass. God damn it.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
All he's saying
This was the catalyst to get things started.
Yeah, all he's saying is that the writing is putting Lynn in a situation that's very nebulous, and it's going to make us look at her a certain way.
And you didn't
But-
have to do that.
Right.
You could have, like, if you had left out the scene where he put that stuff in there and did everything else like regular, I would have been cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
All right,
let's kick the ball a little further down the field. And so Anissa, and I gotta lean on Jennifer. Sorry, I gotta lean on you for this one. Jennifer runs into the old dude with long hair from her school, and realizes this dude got a whole setup. He's got money. He's even doing like spy network stuff on her family, and also discovers that he has Earth-based powers. I'm gonna need you to tell us what's going on.
Okay, we talked about this. So, I think that because his name is Brian, I think Brandon. I'm sorry. I think this is their take on Geoforce from The Outsiders. I think they race changed him, they race swapped him, and they changed his name a little bit. He's got the same Earth-based powers. He's got a similar name. He got money. His mom was killed.
I am Dr. J.
This is Geoforce.
So this is a potential villain hero.
Okay. In the comics, Geoforce is literally okay. It's nebulous because in the original comics, Geoforce was like the I don't want to say he was in the Outsiders.
Okay.
But like when the New 52 and shit came about, him and Black Lightning they fought. And in Young Justice the cartoon, I don't know if you watched it, but remember he turned full villain at the end. So
It's up in the air right now.
it's up in the air where he's gonna
I'm
go.
glad we now kind of inkling of what's going on because there was something about him. I was like, you too Chico DeBarge to be slide through these episodes. But you know, let's kick the ball down the field a little bit further. So Gamby does an analysis on the venom that's affecting Anissa and figures out it's Khalil's venom. How is this possible?
First of all, I'm gonna say something. I just found this out and I groaned. And you guys probably heard me that day, 11 o'clock in the morning. You probably heard that all the way across town. His name is Khalil Payne.
Yeah.
Painkiller. Khalil Payne.
I realized it when he went to go kill his mother, and it's like Mrs. Payne, whatever. I was like, oh.
I was just like,
Kill
Yeah.
Pain.
It's comic book.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Peter Parker.
Tobias Whale. Come on, remember? Remember season 1? All the fish motifs. It's comic books. I can let it slide.
Dr. Octavius. Well, okay, so we found out all this is going on. Gamby is now thinking Khalil's running around now. And now we skip a little further, and now Makovia is finally on the move. About goddamn time. And you know who we run into too? The teleporting man. He's finally showing up.
Passenger 57.
Passenger 57.
Talking about Jumper?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he shows up into the back of that truck with all of those specialists, those special ops men, and whooped they ass.
I'm gonna just say I'm a little shaky on that scene. That scene in particular.
It was tight quarters.
First of all, that's not the thing you need to be shaky on, but
I know
we'll get
exactly
to that.
I know exactly what you're talking
We'll
about.
get to that.
So they're there, and then Markovia is invaded, and the ASA.
They found the site that they keep
exactly
keeping data or whatever.
Exactly. Now they're trying to get to the data site, and they get there, and who's there waiting for them? Odell.
Oh, you know he done fucked up.
Odell came in. He looked over that banner and was like,
With his pimp hat.
Hold on.
He was like Jumper. You're not going anywhere. I put tin foil on the roof.
As a matter of fact, Jumper was like, yo, bosses, get out of here. He's like, boss is not working. Odell was like, you know you done fucked up, right?
Then he pulled out the Resident Evil revolver.
First of all,
that he know he can't hold.
that wasn't a revolver. That was a gat. That was a motherfucking street
That was a hand cannon.
And we all agreed that shit was cool, right?
So hold on, let me set the scene for him. Let me set the scene. It's 20 ASA members surrounding them and Odell. So that's 50 years of black suffrage.
Cut to
2 men versus 2 men with pistols.
Yes.
There's a cut scene and everybody is dead. Except for Odell and the 2 Markovians.
how?
First of all,
How, Sway?
hold on. Before we even get in there, Markovians are some bad motherfuckers. Hold on. Wait a minute. If they taking out a room full of 20 people with AR-15s and assault
Keep in
rifles,
mind, they all freed them.
first of all, and all they had was 2 pistols.
No power.
No powers.
Tinfoil on the roof.
And this was the fucking OK Corral.
I understand why Odell has been. No, fuck the Markovians. I understand now.
this is what
He
they
know
can-
what they can do.
If this is what they can do, lock everybody up. Fuck that. You know what? As a matter of fact, I don't think Odell did enough to shut down freely.
Exactly. Start beating everybody ass in the school. Fuck it.
Markovia.
So hold on. So with 2 pistols, they're able to break down 20 men and shot Odell. And before they were able to perform the coup de grace and kill Odell, Black Lightning shows up and saves his ass. And then this is my favorite scene of the episode. And because while he was dying, Odell was like, Black Lightning, go kill them. And then Black Lightning was like, I don't kill. And Odell was like, soft ass bitch. Now, when you dying, most of the time you try to make your peace. Hold on. Now, when you dying, most of the time you trying to make your peace with your God. You know, trying to square up everything. His last words were "Go kill them," and then not "You soft ass bitch." Respect.
The man has a mission. He's single track minded.
This is Captain Ahab right here.
Yo, that like I said, the editing in this episode was just wonky. Either the Markovians are the truth, or
There's no-
We didn't know how they were gonna get out of there.
or the ASA or stormtroopers. I don't know.
Bruh, like, you don't understand. A pistol carries and blows 15 in the clip. They had to have been one-shotting motherfuckers.
All headshots. All headshots.
They had to kill 2 people with 1 bullet.
Yes.
At one point, they had to do the wanted thing. Like, they took out a room full of like, there was people playing Galaga on the computer. It had nothing to do with it. So, all this goes down, this miraculous movement. And then we get to the ending set piece. So, and this is able to be saved. Gabby goes to the funeral.
Jumper gets his money. He dips out. Dr. J
Dr.
makes the
J-
beer.
Oh, that shit was funny. He went back to the house and he was like, yeah, we went up in Freeland and stuff. And then Black Lightning showed up. And then it was like, Black Lightning.
No. That wasn't the funny part. The funny part was the lead Markovian dude goes and he's like, you ran. He was like, bitch, I don't run from nobody. I technically retreated. So then we get to the end of the episode and Lynn is packing up her shit because
Whatever.
Because this episode wasn't stupid enough. Oh, her Whitney Houston shit. Bobby, you don't ever listen to me. It's my show.
She's not right, but it's okay.
Because she's leaving Jefferson for the 5th time.
At this point, I would be like, Jefferson, just let her go, man.
Yeah, I'm like, why you even trying to fight for this hoe? She don't love me.
Oh my god.
She's leaving for reasons.
Exactly.
I'm gonna just ignore
Like,
it.
where you go? Who house you going to? You gonna go live with Odell?
Oh, they're almost dead.
So that's pretty much a wrap for this week. Honestly,
One more thing, and
Okay.
I'm surprised that you didn't bring it up. Tobias said the funniest racist shit ever. He called Black Lightning a neon negro.
I'm sorry, you can't surpass Ghetto Glowworm. He has to top that.
Oh, then she lightweight snitch. When he was walking away, and she was like, "How do you know that?
Like, I know.
How do you know he was out last night?" I'm like, "Bitch."
how about when he was like,
Lynn can't play it cool for nothing.
Exactly.
how about when she was talking?
Like, I want to blame the drugs, but sometimes I be like,
Lynn
"Bitch."
ain't got no poker face.
How about when Tobias was like, I know they say black women like those Negroes. They just need to be put in line every now and then. I was like, just cut it off. I had to look through the credits to see Robert Towers. But honestly, this was a softball episode to me.
Yeah.
I thought this one needed a lot of work. I get that they're trying to set up for different stuff, and crisis is the thing.
I get like the editing was fast and loose and the story like
This was very
Look.
weird. Like Jennifer was in like 2 scenes.
Exactly.
Yeah, and this was out of nowhere because we didn't explore the ramifications of her last scene from last episode. We just go straight to Scooby Doo shit,
random.
and she didn't even look like she was sneaking in the house. It was like, oh, I invited her here because hopefully she'll give me a J off in the fucking in my fucking room.
So yeah, this seemed like a whole rushed episode. And, hopefully next week's will be better. All right, guys. Thank you guys for this week's episode of the Just Us Review. Next week is the Thanksgiving, so I'm not sure how the episode's going to come out.
I think they come
Progress.
out.
They should be coming on the schedule, but we're not sure. But like and subscribe. We'll keep you guys up to date. But until next time, peace.